It's all about having the right camera. While a camera might work for someone else, it might not work for you, so choosing the right one is crucial. And in this video, I'll break down the top 7 best Sony cameras this year. I've put together a list of options that will meet the needs of different types of buyers, whether it's price, performance, or quality. Now, let's get started. Number 7. The best value video camera from Sony Cinema line is the Sony FX30. The FX30, which sits at the bottom of Sony Cinema line, is the most affordable way to get started with professional caliber videography, because it uses an APS-C sensor rather than the full-frame one of the FX3. The FX30 is able to produce high-quality video according to our tests. The results are punchy and sharp thanks to a 6K crop into 4K footage, and the 10-bit log options and Sony Cine profiles add some much-needed flexibility to color grading. Despite the fact that its primary purpose is to shoot video, it competes favorably with rivals who focus on taking still images. That is reflected in the straightforward design, which is devoid of a mode dial and a viewfinder. Instead, the sturdy FX30 is more adaptable to modular configurations and offers the option of attaching an audio handle for more inputs and control. The FX30 is still a cutting-edge camera, despite being comparatively entry-level. In our review, its autofocus system performed admirably, and handheld videos were successfully stabilized by its 5-axis optical image stabilization. A vari-angled display and tally lamps are the additional useful features. The full-frame FX3 is more expensive, so the FX30 is a better option unless you're willing to pay that much. Number 6. The ultimate Sony powerhouse for professionals is the Sony A1. With a rare blend of speed, resolution, and video skills, the flagship Sony A1 is arguably the ultimate mirrorless camera. The drawback is that its performance comes with an equally breathtaking price tag, making it unnecessary for all photographers but the richest. However, if you can afford it, we believe the A1 to be the most adaptable professional camera ever. Its lightning-quick autofocus, extremely quick burst shooting, top-notch connectivity, and superbly detailed 50.1 MP full-frame sensor demonstrated in testing that it is equally useful for shooting portraits and sports. The dual Bions XR processor enable it to capture detailed images at up to 30 frames per second and record video at up to 8K at 30 frames per second in 10-bit 420 or 4K at 120/60 frames per second in 10-bit 422. Additionally, the A1 feels very familiar in the hand if you're familiar with Sony's full-frame mirrorless lineup, because it has a build and handling that combine the best features of the A7 and A9 series cameras. This camera can do it all if money is no object, and you're a pro who shoots a variety of subjects. Number 5. Best Sony point-and-shoot camera is the Sony RX100 VII. There's something special about a high-quality point-and-shoot camera, even though smartphones have evolved into the best pocket cameras. With the Sony RX100 VII, Sony has filled the market for high-end compact cameras. A built-in zoom lens makes it a highly portable camera that is perfect for traveling, with a 24 to 200mm equivalent full-frame focal length range. It can capture everything from wide-angle images to up-close shots of distant subjects. Additionally, nice additions include a pop-up viewfinder and a flash. Although it uses a 1-inch sensor, which is larger than most compact cameras, the image quality is excellent for its class, even though it can't compete with larger sensor cameras. You won't have to worry about missing focus with moving subjects thanks to its dependable and efficient autofocus system. The vlogging-focused Sony ZV is a less expensive option with a comparable 1-inch sensor and the same autofocus system, if you don't mind giving up the viewfinder and some zoom range. Both cameras have poor battery life, but point-and-shoots are great choices if you're looking for something small and portable. Number 4. Best budget Sony camera is the Sony ZV-E10. The best entry-level camera in Sony's lineup is the ZV-E10. It's a great value camera that, despite being made with vloggers in mind, also works well for photography if you don't mind forgoing a viewfinder. A fully articulated screen makes it simple to keep an eye on yourself while recording or taking selfies, and it uses a sensor similar to that of the Sony 6400 above. Additionally, there's now a headphone jack and a better internal microphone. Even though it's designed for video, it has excellent overall image quality and quick burst shooting, making it just as capable in the photo department as its alpha siblings. Excellent battery life is another feature. Although its autofocus is less trustworthy than the higher-end Sony cameras, it is still very efficient overall. In the end, this is a fantastic low-cost option for beginners and vloggers if you can live without a viewfinder. Number 3. Best mid-range Sony camera is the Sony A6400. If you want to cut costs even further, Sony's APS-C alpha lineup is a great compromise for first-timers and anyone who wants a more portable setup. The Sony 6400 is the true mid-range option in the lineup, falling between the more expensive Sony 6600 and the Sony 6100, which is better suited for beginners. cameras. It lacks built-in image stabilization like the 6600, but it has a higher resolution viewfinder and a more durable body than the 6100, providing a good balance of features and cost. Naturally, an APS-C sensor won't produce images with quite the same quality as one of the full-frame options above. However, unless you're a professional or enthusiast, the difference won't be very noticeable, and you'll still be able to take stunning pictures with these cameras, especially when used in conjunction with a high-quality lens. In particular, they work well for vlogging and other informal video work. Additionally, these cameras are all fairly portable, making it simpler to bring your camera with you wherever you go. Number 2. Best upper mid-range Sony camera is the Sony A7 III. If the Sony 7 Mark IV is out of your price range, the Sony 7 III is still an excellent camera today, despite its advanced age. It is one of the best Sony cameras for photography. Even though it has video features, they are unquestionably outdated. Along with all the lens options available with the 7 Mark IV above and an excellent autofocus system, you get incredible image quality from its full-frame sensor. Despite not being weatherproof, the camera still feels sturdy. Even though Sony's outdated and unintuitive menu system will be forced upon you, this camera is still a great value. The Sony 7C is essentially a 7 III compressed into a smaller body, if you'd prefer something more portable. A newer autofocus system and some minor color science tweaks are included, but you also lose some buttons and dials and receive a much smaller viewfinder. The benefit of the smaller size may only be slight depending on the size of your lens. However, it does make for a fantastic high-quality travel camera in this price range, particularly when paired with smaller prime lenses. Number 1. Best overall Sony camera is the Sony A7 Mark IV. The top Sony alpha camera we've tested is the Sony 7 Mark IV. It is a true hybrid camera that is capable of doing everything. For high contrast scenes, it has a lot of dynamic range, and the 33 megapixel sensor gives you more freedom to crop your images. Although it doesn't have the fastest burst rate when shooting uncompressed RAW files, sports and action photographers will be hard-pressed to find a quicker and more accurate autofocus system. However, the 7 Mark IV is also a video powerhouse, offering high bit rates for better quality video and unlimited recording time, and a variety of frame rates to capture everything from slow motion to cinematic footage, including 4K at 60 frames per second, albeit with a crop. In addition to being well suited to a variety of photo and video styles, it is also built to last, with a durable weather-sealed body, a vari-angle touchscreen, and a high-resolution electronic viewfinder that gives you a clear view of your subject. Not to mention dual SD card slots for additional storage and all the ports you need for video peripherals. Additionally, it has excellent battery life for a mirrorless camera. This Sony camera is one to get if you want the best of the best without going into the pro territory, despite the fact that all the hardware and processing power detracts from portability. Alright, that's all for today's video, guys. Please drop a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos like this.